We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 172. Today we're going to talk about my trip to LA a few weeks ago, my trip to the hospital last week, my week in poker a couple weeks ago, my week in poker this week, the NCAA tournament, whatever else y'all want to talk about. Lots to talk about. The Mouthpiece is next. Whoa, welcome to the Mouthpiece. Missed you guys. It's been, 2.5 weeks, I think. We did a podcast right before I left for California. So that was, not quite 2 weeks ago. It was So, sorry about that. Interesting trip to LA. We'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about how I got sick. It was in the hospital when I got back from LA a week ago Monday. And then basically I was kind of resting up since then. So went to LA, I thought I played above the rim, all 3 sessions on the stream. And if you watch me on the stream will show you that I won $40K for the week. Unfortunately, that's not really what happened because literally on Thursday, my last day playing, there was 2 left in stand-up when the stream ended, and we had to play it out. And the very first hand off the stream against someone I kind of despise, I literally opened for 500 because there was only 2 of us left in stand-up. He makes it 3K. I have kings. I want to make it look weak, so I quickly make it 15K. He moves all in. He has aces, and I get stacked for a 92K pot. So instead of winning 40 on the week or 38 on the week, I end up losing 10. It's the person that stacked me that really bothers me. I don't want to say bad things about anybody, but everybody knows that we don't get along because I think he's a phony and a fraud, and I've said it many times. But Ryan asked me on Thursday, because a seat opened, if Wesley could play, and I said no, I don't want to play with him because I just don't like playing with people that I think are not, that are phony. And Ryan had already asked him, told him he can come down, and then Ryan said, well, I'll just call him and just tell him that he can't come because you're the first preference. And then I said to myself, you know what, I don't want to be it's Ryan's show, and I don't want to be the second rate person that over 40 minutes that we had left. So I said, he could play. And he ends up stacking me in a 92K pot, kings against aces, first hand off the stream. So it's like, and listen, I got nothing against him. I just, I've said things, and I'm not somebody that says things behind people's back, And so, when the worst part is I should have stuck to my guns and said no, because when you say something and now you're playing with somebody you don't want to play with, the negativity comes across you, and you, even though you're trying to man up and be the man, you end up kind of pushing out negativity. Like he 4-bet me once with king queen, I folded tens. He 3-bet me twice. Ryan said he had ace king both times. When I had ace queen, I folded. And now, but I don't know this. He showed the 4-bet with the king queen. I mean, the sick part is I lost focus. That's the bottom line. So Wesley wins the last hand on the stream. He picks up like 42,000 against Big John with straight with 2, 3, 4, 5 on the board, and Big John somehow loses his mind with an ace, and Wesley has a 6, 2 sixes. And And listen, I actually, we're getting along fine, and it's not like I have a problem with him. I've said things on Twitter or on my podcasts, and I feel a certain way, and I've said it, and he's got mad about it, but like we got along that day, and we were just in shock that Big John had just handed him like a 100K pot with an ace, and so the very next hand, I pick up the kings against aces, and he beats me for a 92K pot, and the sick part about it is like the butterfly effect. If John just folds like he's supposed to and the cards go in the muck different, I don't get dealt the kings against aces the next hand. So it was pretty unfortunate. And again, I don't want to say anything bad about Wesley. I've said my things before, what I thought on the podcast and live, and so I don't hold grudges against people. I've said my piece. I even when I played with Mariano, I told him on the stream that I thought his 10-7 hand was fake against Doug Polk. And I said, I don't want to say something on the podcast or in the public eye that I wouldn't say in person. And he says, Mike, I'm sorry you feel that way. It was a real hand. It was one of the dumbest calls I've ever made in my life. And I just so happened to hit the flop. He said, I've been running really, really great, and I just gambled. Now, he said it with a pretty straight face, and the way he said it to me, I believed him. And so I read people pretty good. If he was lying, I think I could tell, because my gut was he wasn't. So, yeah, I give a lot of credit to that. So I played Tuesday down there. I played really well, but the game was soft, and the deck hits me, and I win $37,500. They said that was one of the biggest wins they've had on the Monday. I'm sorry, the Monday game in a year. And so I knew I ran great, but I also said, well, let's see how I do that was Monday, how I do on Wednesday and Thursday during the big game. So when Wednesday comes around, they said, I'm playing with a bunch of pros, and it's 25-50. And please don't talk about politics, dude. You're out of your mind. And so Wednesday comes, it's 25-50, and with a bunch of pros, and I'm playing in the game, and my VPIP was 4% after an hour and a half because I never had a hand to play. I'd only played one hand. And then I play another hand where I 3-bet and I barrel off on an ace-high board. The board was like ace-6, king 10 with 3 hearts. And I get called by fourth pair, and I lose like $6,500. And the first thing I said to myself is, I knew exactly what I gave away, because you can't be in a game where you played one hand in an hour and a half. Now you 3-bet and you barrel an ace-high board and get called with fourth pair unless you give something away. And right after the hand, I put my glasses on and I started studying everybody at the table. I wasn't hiding anything. I just wanted to really focus and get a read. And I knew what I gave away when you don't get called by fourth pair when you played one hand in 90 minutes unless you give something away. So I knew what I gave away. And I don't want to say what I gave away because I might end up playing with him again. And then I watched the table very closely. And then came the hand where Shay, I think his name is, he called a 4-bet with kings. The flop came ace high, came like ace, 8, deuce, 6, 7, So 6, 7, 8 came on the board, and Mariano like barreled, flop, turn, river. And we didn't know that he just smooth called them with kings. But he goes into the tank and he says, I'm going to need like 5 minutes, guys. And I watched this hand. Now remember, I got called with fourth pair, like about an hour before. So I thought it was really important to see what was going on. And I'm not going to say what I picked up, but I picked up something on Mariano on the turn when he bet 14,500 that told me he didn't have it. And I felt that Shea saw what I saw. And he called the 14-5. Now, when he calls the 14-5 on the turn after calling the big bet on the flop, on ace-high board, I mean, there's no rivers he's folding. So now when the board, I think came a 6 I think he came like a running 7-6, and he checked and then he moved all in. I mean, I was like shocked because I'm like, I didn't think he had it on the turn, but when the guy calls him on the turn, like he's not folding anything on the river. So I'm thinking maybe he backed into like some kind of 4-5 or 10-9 or something. And so this hand was interesting. And so he spends like 5 minutes and he calls with kings with the board ace, 6, 7, 8, deuce. And they're good. Mariano loses 90K in the pot. And that's when I said out loud, I said, well, at least I know who the best player is. Because he called me down with fourth pair. It was the second hand I played in 2 hours. And he called Mariano down in this hand. And the most important thing about this is when I got called with the fourth pair, I put my glasses on and I started studying the table. And when you study and you look, and I noticed that Shea, it's a Shea or Shea, if I have it wrong, I'm not sure, was literally, when my glasses were on, watching everybody. I watched his eyes go around to everybody during the hand before he ever acted. So he was like really focusing on people. And of course I knew that because I knew what I gave away when he called me with fourth pair. And then he made that call on Mariano. Now, I'm not going to say what Mariano gave away because I have now played with him twice and I have picked up something both times. And so I saw something which I thought he didn't have it on the turn. But then on the river, like I said, I kind of changed my mind because I didn't know how he could move all in once the guy just called him on the turn. So anyways, I learned a lot in that game because unfortunately I wasn't prepared to play that big. They said it was quarter 50, but it was quarter 50, 100, 200, 400. And it was really big. I ended up losing 14,500. That was day 2 on Wednesday. And I thought I played above the rim. Like, yeah, I blinded off. I got called with fourth pair and lose like 7K the one hand. But to lose 14K in a game that was playing that big, where somebody was winning or losing 100 every day in that game. At least the game was huge. We had the stand up. We had all the monkey stuff on it. So the game played big. I honestly believe that game on Wednesday really took me back to what it felt like to play with great players and to really play above the rim. I thought I played above the rim. So people will say maybe I played too tight. I really didn't have any hands, but the hands I did have, I thought I played really well. And one of the hands with like 2 hands to go in the night, I 4-bet ace queen, and I did absolutely opposite of what I gave away the hand when I got called with fourth pair. And then I bet the flop, and I did opposite, and he snap folded tens right on the flop of king 6-3. And people will ask, well, how does he snap fold tens and he call you down with fourth pair? Well, that's how I knew like I said, I knew he was the best player in the game, because you can't get called with fourth pair unless you give something away. So what did I do? I went back to what I did when I had a hand a few times, and I made sure that I didn't give that away. And so when you're playing with great players, they're very aware of things. So I was really proud of myself, After he folded, he goes, "Hey, let me see your hand," because he was so sure I had a big hand, because I know exactly the mannerisms that I gave away with the fourth pair to make it look like I had a hand this time. So I was really proud of myself for that, and I ended up winning like 5-6K in a pot. So I win 37-5, lose 14-5. Then came the Thursday game, and I was down most of the day on the Thursday game. Jasper was playing 100% VPIP, has position on me, and I was getting no hands. And I knew he had to go, but he wanted to be the first person to play 100% VPIP on the show. And I tried to figure out, if I have a big hand, what do I do under the gun? Because I know he's calling with anything. And somebody that knows something about the game, I don't want to name names, told me that if you have a big hand, just move in under the gun, and he'll call you because he wants to play 100% VPIP. And I didn't even think about that. I was thinking like opening for like 3,000 or something. So I picked up ace king of hearts, and I open jam 17,500 under the gun. And he was right. He called me with 4-5 offsuit, and I won both boards, and that got me to about 10K winner. Then I flopped a set. I flopped 3 5s with 5-7 suited on a 5-5-10 board. I guess I didn't get enough value out of it, because he bet flop, I called. He bet turn, I called, and then he bombed the river, and it came spade, and I just called. And he had ace 10, and so I won like 7,000 there. And now I'm 16,000 winner. And the first hand off stream, I pick up kings against aces, and my whole week was completely ruined. So instead of being up 38,500 and being done for the trip and playing probably one of my best weeks of poker I've ever played, I ended up losing 10K for the week. Very depressing. I was a little shook, because like who I lost it to, how I lost it. And again, everybody's standing after the hand that Big John punts off like 45K to Wesley, and they're all like, how does he do that? How can he call you? And so when I raise and he 3-bets me, I don't have focus. I'm just thinking I open 500. I'm on the stand up with 2 left. He's fucking with me. And so I never, like, if we're sitting and I'm focused like I was right before the hand, I'm gonna watch how he made it 3,000. I'm gonna make it like 8,500. He's gonna make it like 20 to a 5-bet. And with the last hand to go in the night, I would think maybe he's not gonna make it. Maybe he's, after just winning a 100K pot, he's not gonna 5-bet me, and I'd probably get away from the hand and lose 8,500. Instead, I did a quick raise to make it look like I was weak to 15,000, and then he quick jammed, and I just called him, and he had aces, I had kings. The moral of the story is, when you're playing high stakes poker, you gotta stay focused at all times. You could say, I got cooler kings against aces. If you're focused and you size up correctly and you know your players And he just won a 100K pot, and he's so happy he won the 100K pot. Like, after I make it 15,000, I mean, he's never fucking 5-bet jamming me without aces. But I lost focus, and I had to pay the price for it against somebody I didn't want to lose to. And it's a learning experience. That was my week in poker in LA. Yeah. Yeah, Trump's doing great. The Tesla brand is done. Okay. I promise you, I will be putting 100,000 in Tesla stock either tomorrow or the next day, because it will be worth $1,000 a share within a year, 100%. Dude, you guys you're so stupid. The left is so sick, dude. They're like burning up, like he doesn't even own Tesla. He's like the CEO. Like they're trying to hurt him. I mean, you could protest, but the left is sick, dude. They're trying to hurt the guy who is trying to save everybody money. But see, they're so corrupt that it's destroy Elon at all costs to save their money tree. It's so sick. They're so sick. The left has been exposed. The Democrats are polling at 27% approval rating. And by attacking Elon, they're going to fall. They have no idea what they're doing. They're just desperate that they don't all go to jail. That's all. Which they will. I don't want to talk politics. I really don't. But I will be investing 100,000 in Tesla stock. Probably tomorrow, if not the next day. Well, yeah, electric cars are now bad, and they're all buying like gas cars because they're all hypocrites. Oh, don't worry, I'm putting money in Tesla, dude. If you don't think Tesla's worth $200 a share, you're insane. You're absolutely fucking insane. So that was my week in poker. So now I end up staying an extra 2 days in LA because it was Ryan's birthday. He had a birthday party Saturday. He rented a house. I said, I'm in LA. He's my good friend. I'll stay an extra couple days. So I had to stay extra couple days. He says, pool party at this house. Bring your bathing suit, blah, 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 blah. He rented the house for the day. At like 2 a.m, before I'm going to sleep, I look at the weather report for Hermosa Beach. It says it's 49 degrees outside. And I'm like, what's it going to be, like 61 tomorrow? I'm like, that pool better be heated. So we get to Ryan's place that he rented. We get there, it's pretty cold. And I'm like, Ryan, is the pool heated? He says, no. I said, how's the pool not heated? I said, at least heat the jacuzzi. Anyways, he doesn't heat either one. So now we light the fires because everybody's freezing. And I end up, everybody who knows me when I'm sick or not feeling well, I get up and down a lot. And I was getting up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And whenever I get up and down a lot, I get in a lot of pain. That's my kryptonite. It's why at the World Series, I have a scooter. The only time I have to get up and down is to move tables. And as long as I'm not getting up and down, my pain levels are not that bad. When I'm getting up and down, it's really, really bad. So we get done with the day, and I'm flying out the next day. And get up at noon, get to the airport at 1. I get wheelchair service because I cannot walk through the airports. I then get home around, 4:30 or 5. And then I'm kind of just chilling. And at 2:35 a.m., I am forced to call 911. Now, can't go into specifics, but all I could tell you is I was laying in bed and I got one of the, if not the most insane, intense pain of my entire life in my groin area. And I started screaming. Had no idea what the fuck causing this. And I said, I got to call 911. I got to call 911. This is really bad. So I end up calling 911. I go to the hospital. Sitting in the back of the ambulance. And I'm really scared because I had a doctor's appointment for this week because I had experienced a little bit of discomfort in the area, but not pain, just a little discomfort. And I was like, I better get this checked. But this was pain. This was like a kidney stone. It's not a gallstone because I got my gallbladder taken out. And Tony. So I was thinking maybe that happened. Some kind of torsion or some sort. I don't really know. And so now they're doing tests on me in the ER, like CT scan, ultrasound, and it ends up everything comes up negative. And as soon as they said everything comes up negative, I knew exactly what it was. I knew right away that it was my disc in my back causing the deferred pain to that area. And I told these people, because when I had my surgery in 2014, I also had pain in the area, and I got misdiagnosed, and they were giving me all kinds of antibiotics, and the pain wouldn't go away. And then it got proven that my disc was causing the pain. So I told the people in the ER and in the hospital, because once they moved me from the ER to a hospital bed, they wouldn't let me go because I was still in horrific pain. So they weren't going to let me go in horrific pain, even though everything came up normal. And I said, I need a thoracic MRI ASAP. And they're like, there's no way that your T-spine in your back is causing your pain of this magnitude in your groin area. And I'm like, yes, it is. And I sit there all day. The pain goes away. I'm finally feeling good. And they say like at 3:30, they're going to discharge me. I wait like an hour and 15 minutes to get discharged. And as I get picked up by Danny picked me up. And as I'm walking in the car, I feel a little discomfort again. Once I get home, I start putting food for the cats, putting water in their bowls, walking through the house, and the pain comes back, the same pain that I called 911 out, and I start screaming again. And I know it's a disc because I'm bending over to put water in the jug in for the cats, food for the cats, and now I go and lay down. And the first thing I do is, and you guys could Google this. This shows how stupid the people in the hospital is. I wish I would have Googled it in the hospital. I said, can a T-spine on T8 cause pain in my area? And it pops right up. Yes, if you have a severe T-spine, it is very common to have severe pain in that area, which is exactly what I told the idiots at the hospital. but you would think the ER or the hospital would know this. I wish I would have just showed them the Google, when I Googled T-spine and pain and that I was getting. So now I already know what it is. So now I'm a little bit worried, because if my disc moves, if I start getting symptomatic, I'm going to have the surgery again. So I spent all week basically laying in bed. They gave me all these pain meds in the hospital. They gave me Dilaudid. They gave me morphine. They gave me, and that was another reason why I knew it was a disc, because whenever I have disc pain, they can't, no matter what pain meds they give you, it doesn't go away. And so that was my week, all last week. I then knew, because all the pain meds they gave me, that I would sleep a lot. So I ended up sleeping Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like 17 hours a day, which I kind of expected. And then towards the end of the week, I was walking around the house again, putting food for the cats and the water. And I didn't get the awful pain, but I got a lot of discomfort. So that was my week. And that's why, you guys, I'm sorry that I haven't been here for a little over 2 weeks. I just couldn't get out of bed. The pain was so bad. So I am a little bit worried. If I get symptomatic, where I get that kind of pain in that area, I'm going to need the surgery again. And anybody who's seen my documentary knows what I deal with. So that was my week. This is a pretty emotional week, because I'm scared that if I have to have that surgery again, my life's over. It's like 6-month rehab instead of 6 weeks. Learn how to walk again. Could be paralyzed. So, yeah, a little bit worried. And so hopefully it's just inflammation from the getting up and down at the party. And when I fly, I get from the pressurization and depressurization, I always have pain when I fly. That's why I don't fly. Usually, though, when I fly to LA, it's not that bad. It's normally when I fly 3 hours or more and where I can't move at all. So, fingers crossed I'm okay with that. With that said, I will be going to Reno next week. I'm leaving on Monday to film with Helmut 50-100 No Limit for Poker Night in America. That'll be my first time on Poker Night in America since the very first show. And the very first show, I had a chance to be a part of and own a piece of Poker Night in America. But my corrupt partner at the time said that he would not allow me to be a part of it. And then Phil, who wasn't even there, ended up getting a piece of it. So this will be my first trip back to Poker Night in America. Since then, looking forward to playing live. I really enjoyed playing live at HCL. I really thought I played really above the rim for 3 straight days. And so I'll be doing that next week. And hopefully, I told them I need a wheelchair at the airport. I need a scooter when I get to the hotel. And so that's what I've been doing next week. Let's see what else is going on. I just played poker for the first time in a week and a half. I made $4,500, but I should have made probably $25,000. I played a hand. A guy just got stacked with 6-3 offsuit on a 6-3 king board. King Jack on a turn. He's up against King Jack, and I knew that he was going to 3-bet me when I raised with sevens, and I made up my mind I was going to 4-bet him. So I 4-bet him. He called. Came 6-6-4. I bet he called. Came a 5 on the turn. There was like 7,000 in the pot, and he checked, and I 2x potted all in, 4, 5, 6, 6 on the board. And he's like, I know you have an overpair. I know you have an overpair. And he folds 8s, and I show him 7s. And now he's really tilted, because instead of me winning like 5K, he would have beat me. He was, unless I get lucky, he was going to scoop me if he calls. He had 2 8s. So now he loses another big hand with like ace queen to 7s. He loses both boards, and now he like opens for like 10,000, shows like 10 deuce off, right? And I said to myself, I know he's tilted too. And so it goes raise 120, call 120. I call 120 with 7s. He makes it 5,500, and I know I just jammed 25,000. I just know it, right? And I said, I don't want to get him off tilt like somebody just got this other player off tilt like 2 hands before by trying to bluff them. And like there's a rule of thumb in poker. I think I've said it many a times. When somebody's tilted, you don't want to get them off tilt. You let them win all the tiny pots. You keep them tilted. And I said he just open raised 10,000 and showed 10 deuce offsuit. Now he makes it 5,500. I'm like, usually they don't do it back-to-back hands with nothing. And I figure it worse, I'm flipping. I just said jam, jam, jam. I said this is a jam, this is a jam. But I'm getting ready to quit to do the podcast, and what if I jam and he just snap calls me and he has like ace 10 off, and I lose a flip twice, right? Now I'm down 20,000. And I didn't want to be down 20,000 when I haven't played in a week and a half. Anyways, he showed king 3 of clubs, and the board ran out. I would have scooped at least the first board. So a little bit down on myself that I didn't just go with my read and jam. But listen, when people are, I've said it many a times, it's one of the biggest mistakes people make. When you got the right people stuck, you don't want to pay them off. You want to let them win tiny pots. You never want to let them get out with a marginal hand, even if you think they're tilted. You just let them win all the small ones and just get them with the big ones. So I just didn't want to be the guy that got him off tilt. After I folded the 7s, which I would have, if I jam, he might have folded and I pick up 5,500. Or if he calls, I would have at least won the first board and been free rolling to win 25K and maybe been up 30,000. And 7s were running good. I mean, he got stacked with 7s versus ace queen. He folded the 8s to my 7s. Now I had 7s again. Whatever. I mean, yeah, I could have jammed, but they usually don't bluff 2 in a row, and I didn't want to get him off tilt. But don't worry, somebody else got him off tilt like 2 hands later on a king eye board and paid him off with 10s, and he had king queen. And that's the thing, when somebody gets stuck and tilted, they start going crazy. Like even a monkey could get a hand. And so a little bit upset at myself I didn't just go with my read right before the podcast. I mean, if I jam and he folds, I pick up 5,500. If I jam and he calls, I'm pre-rolling 25,000. So When you haven't played in 2 weeks and you're up 5K, 4,800, whatever, and you got to go to start your podcast. I mean, like I said, even a monkey could pick up a hand. What if I jam and he just has like ace 10 there? He just calls because it looks like I have a middle pair. And I lose both boards. So I don't want to be results oriented. My gut told me jam. I didn't do it. That's fine. So that's my week in poker. That's my week last week and 2 weeks ago in poker at HCL. And then we have the upcoming week. Anyways. So NCAA tournament. I don't know if you guys listen to the We Win podcast. We had Alan Boston on yesterday. He was really great on the podcast. If you haven't heard it yet, check out the We Win podcast. It was me, Phil, Cantu, and Woodley. It was a really good episode. Alan Boston was great on the show. And he gave us, his picks for the tournament. Most of these lines have moved his way. He did give us San Diego State yesterday, and every sharp was on San Diego State yesterday, by the way. They only lost by 40. So hopefully that's one loss, and we'll win a lot more. Looking forward to the tournament. I'm just going to bet like games like Alan tells me that he likes for like 1K, and if I win some money, I do. I mean, I'm not going to lose much, just for fun so I can watch. I gave him my opinion on a couple games. He liked both of them, and that was just me doing a lot of reading. I read that a lot of the sharp players, they liked Liberty, and he said that was his fourth favorite pick of the week. I think Liberty is, what are they getting? Playing Oregon. Let's see. They're getting, it was 7. It's now 6.5. So, so that was my pick on the show. I also took Wisconsin plus 17.5 against Montana, only because he thinks that Wisconsin is overrated and shouldn't be a 3 seed, and that's a lot of points for a team that played on Sunday. So those are my two picks. He liked Kansas a lot, even though he said the number was correct at 4.5. It's now moved to 5. His just gut feeling. And I think the other one he actually liked my pick as Liberty as his fourth best pick. What was the other one he liked? I think it was, I know he liked Yale a little bit. And, Grand Canyon against Maryland. It's 10.5. He liked Grand Canyon also. How about Carolina? They beat San Diego State so bad they made them favored against Ole Miss. I think they might win. They look good. Colorado State's now the favorite over Memphis. Interesting. I don't know nothing about college basketball. He knows everything. Just listening to him was really refreshing to watch. So, look forward to watching the tournament. Anyways, let's see. We talked about the tournament. We talked about my poker. We talked about my injury. My wonderful 13 hours in the hospital. Let's take some phone calls.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Matusow on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live. 702-329-0480. Give us a call. What do you want to talk about? 702-329-0480. What do you want to talk about? Talk about the tournament. Talk about poker. World Series of Poker coming up in 2 months. Looking forward to that. But I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to play. It just depends how things are going. I'm pretty happy though. Like, I don't know, life is good. I can't really complain. Let's see. I want to look at one thing. See how much I'm losing here. Well, Bitcoin's holding steady at 86,000. The funny part is it was 108, and the guy, my best friend who runs all my crypto, says, I got a bad feeling. I think we should get out. He goes, my gut's telling me. And he doesn't listen to his gut, and we lose like 25%. I don't know why. I said, when you think a guy's got a flush and you have second pair and call, why would you call? If you had a bad feeling, why didn't you get us out? So it's like, you know, if I'm watching the crypto and I have a bad feeling, I just get out. And that's it. That was his only job, unfortunately, but it'll go back up. So I'm not worried about that. I definitely am going to invest a lot of money in Tesla because that's right now the absolute steal of the century. And the funny part is the Democrats don't even know what they're protesting. A guy getting all the waste out of government and saving people millions of dollars, but their left media is so worried about their crime family that they're putting out a full-out hit on Elon. It's like no more Trump derangement syndrome. It's now ED syndrome, Elon Musk syndrome, Elon derangement syndrome. It's pretty crazy. No, Bitcoin's going to be fine. That I'm not worried about. Yeah, I told you all in 2022 that Elon buying Twitter, where's the proof of the waste? They post it. Why don't you go to the Doge site and why don't you just read it all, buddy? Instead of listening to your fucking media that you think tells you the truth. And I told you when he bought Twitter, it's going to be like Abraham Lincoln freeing the slaves. It's going to change the country forever. I told you that. So, yeah, Joe Biden gave him all the government contracts. Yeah. The media accused him of 400,000 in Tesla sales. No, Biden approved that. EDS is like TDS times 100. I mean, you know how sick the Democrats are? They're literally going to die on the platform of the judge says you can't deport illegal gang members back to El Salvador. That's unconstitutional. That's how sick the Democrats are. They literally would rather have gang members who rape and murder people in the U.S. than Trump send them on planes back to where they came from. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. You think Tesla is done? Okay, sure. Sure. It's wild. They're dying on the hill of illegal immigrant gang members. That's what they're dying on. And they're dying on the hill of there's more than two sexes. That's the hill they're dying on. They're going to die on the hill. I mean, the fucking Democrats' approval rating is 27%. 27%. 73% think the Democrats have lost their mind. 73% of the country. Do you know how much that is? What's 73% of 360 million? But the 27% are these idiots in my chat that are dying on their MSNBC chat. Wow. You would think when the poll numbers come out that only 27% approve of the Democrats. How can that be? What am I missing? What am I being lied to about? How can I be in that 27% and everybody else be crazy? That's what a smart person would do. A fucking idiot would just read back fucking bullshit talking points. Yep, Trump's going to get us out of World War III. The war is going to end, and the Democrats are going to cry. We want war! We want war! That motherfucker, he got us out of war. Now we're all going to live. That's the hill the Democrats are going to die on. Watching Tim Walz yesterday talk about his masculinity was truly one of the funniest things I've ever said. 73% are in a cult. Barry, you're not. Yep. You're not in a cult. The 27% aren't in a cult, but the 73% are. Sure. Elizabeth Warren, she's going to bat hard. We've got to stop Doge. Well, yeah, you're worth $67 million on a $250,000 a year salary. Where'd you get all your money? Oh, okay. They know. That's why Elon's public enemy number one, because he's going to expose them all their fucking lying, corrupt motherfucking asses. Did you guys see? There's really not much that came out of the JFK files, but the one thing that I noticed that did come out, and you guys could Google it and look it up, is there was a letter sent, they're in the files, 1994, from JFK Jr., who called Joe Biden a traitor to the country. That's the one thing I noticed. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet, but it was literally in the files where he called Joe Biden a traitor to the country. That's exactly why Elon became a Republican, because they tried to trans his kid. He said it the other day. He said, they're trying to stop me because I'm the only one that could cure the woke mind virus. And you know what? He is the only one that could cure the woke mind virus. He's got, between him and Trump, they have enough of a following that they could literally save the world from the woke mind virus and the insanity that comes with it. I don't want to talk about names, but I'll just say I had like a 90-minute phone call with some person in poker. Her and her husband they're pretty well known, somewhat famous. Not really famous, but they're well known. And when I used to talk about Trump, she used to say, "Oh, be quiet, I don't want to hear it. Very anti-Trump. We had a call, and I was completely shocked at how much the tone had changed in favor of Trump. And I just told myself, if this person, who was as liberal as can be and lived in LA, could tell me that that the reason why they voted for Trump was the exact reason why most of the people on the left did, and it's from the wokeism. And this person told me not just the wokeism, but what really woke this person up was October 7th and how the left went after the Jews. And they did. I mean, the far left, they were just all in for Hamas. And this person was born Jewish, really wasn't religious, but found the Jewish roots after they saw what happened on October 7th and how the insane left reacted and how brainwashed they all were. Because you don't just come with all out. October 7th, before Israel even retaliated, they were in the streets with Hamas outfits on, protesting Israel. So it was all planned in advance. And the people on campuses were all brainwashed by their professors. And it was pretty obvious. That's why they acted the way they did. And I knew how much the far left hated Jews and hated Israel. And but some people that were on the left, they didn't know. And it took them October 7th to realize it. And that person told me that October 7th really woke them up. And that they were being lied to about Trump and the world. And they ended up voting for Trump and are pretty happy about everything except for one. And the thing that they're not happy with is something that I'm not happy with. But I could be wrong. And like this person I talked to said, they could be wrong, and we'll just have to see what happened. And that's when it comes to the tariffs. I don't understand, like, going to war with Canada over prices, $200 billion. It's like, oh well, it's a lot of money, but I kind of sided with this person. I'm not happy about it, but Trump did say it's not like he's a liar. He didn't say everything's going to be great. He said we're going to have short-term pain and expect it, but we're going to have long-term results. And so he's either going to be right or wrong. If he's right and the war ends and what he's doing brings the price of everything down, then he's right. If he's wrong, well, then we'll have the consequences of it. But a lot of people I really respect, really think that Trump's trying to tank the market so he could get the interest rates on housing down. And if he gets the interest rates down and he gets the price of gas down and gets the price of food down, it'll help the poorer people. And there's only 8% of the whole United States that are in the market. I didn't know that. I thought it was like 50%. So he's willing to short-term tank the market of the 8% to help the people that can't afford things. Now, if that happens, Trump will go down as the greatest president ever. And if it doesn't happen and everything the left says is going to happen, then they'll be right. But the attack on Elon is pretty insane. Like, really? You're going to try and fucking, I don't know, Barry's for domestic terrorism. He thinks you should just light Teslas on fire, key them all, call them Nazis, and just... We'll find out that Barry won't be on the show lately. We'll be like, where'd Barry go? Oh, he's in jail for fucking vandalizing a Tesla somewhere. So, yeah, I mean, I think that Trump knows how to manipulate the markets. I really do. I also think that he understands that you got to get all this waste and shit out of government. and government spending, because that's what causes inflation. And so, destroy Tesla. Yeah, okay. You want to destroy something that the guy doesn't even own. But, yeah, okay. We are anti-electric cars now. Gas cars. We want gas. Gas stoves, yeah. Yeah, no more electric. The environment doesn't mean anything because our media tells us Elon bad, Trump bad, we good. Yeah, he's completely brainwashed. That's the only reason why you talk about politics. And you just keep, you don't even. So, like, the difference between the left and right is like a 40-year-old Republican just got arrested for trying to have sex with a minor, and everybody on the right has called this person out as disgusting and a lying, bullshitting piece of shit. But people on the left, they could never do anything wrong. Everything they do is right. Trump bad, they're good. And the people loudest are the people that have everything to lose. The people who got rich in government. Even Schumer on The View the other day is like, all the right has to do is just replay him on The View the other day. He's like, oh, people are mad that they make all this money and they have to give 40% to their government. Boo-hoo. How does he even say that? Yeah, nobody wants to give their money to the government. Trump wants to get rid of tax on tips. He wants to get rid of the IRS completely. How could you not be for that? If Trump gets rid of the IRS completely, and the only people that pay are the people that are doing tariffs, like it was in 1860? Imagine not having to pay taxes ever again. You guys would still cry. The people on the left would be like, we want taxes! We want taxes! No matter what, Trump could cure cancer. We want cancer! That's what you guys would do. Pretty crazy, buddy. World's fucking crazy. 27% the Democrats are fucking polling at. 27. Oh, sorry, I can't help myself. It's just like, but that's what they're going to be doing. They'll be like, we want cancer. We want taxes. We want to pay more. We want to pay more. How much more can the government steal from us? When Obama, did you see the video of Obama talking about getting all the waste out of government? And he was gonna start something just like Doge to help get waste out of government. Of course, he never did. When Obama said it was okay, when Elon's trying to do it, they're like, oh, he just wants to get rich. Dude, the guy's paid $44 billion for Twitter that was worth $6 million at the time. Now it's worth the same as he bought it for. The guy doesn't care about money. He told the guy at NBC, you want to blackmail me with money? I don't need money. Fuck you. Remember that? Fucking joke. It's true. Obama did start Doge. You saw the video of him talking about it. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, his wife's podcast is pretty awful. Cool. I'll be investing in Tesla. You'll be selling it. When Tesla's worth $1,000 a share in 2 years, because everybody's going to have one of those Optimus robots, and the robot taxis, all the self-driving cars, can't destroy a company that big. You got to remember the fucking market's been going down anyways. Not like, and Tesla was so overpriced anyways. But Tesla's probably worth about $300 a share, and you can get it for like $200 now. So, but I do believe it'll be worth $1,000. Yeah. So everything that Trump campaigned on, he has done. They're so mad he's getting rid of the Department of Education. They put like $40 million to education, and then the bureaucrats steal like $600 million or billion, whatever the fuck it is. And 85% of our kids can't do basic math. Sure. No, I do not think Trump should run for another term. I think that they're trolling everybody with the Trump 2028. He will never, ever run for another term. Barry, why don't you just post up? You short it. Whatever you tell me you want to short it for, I'll put in a, we'll just put it in a fund. And in a year from now, we'll just take, I don't know, 10,000. If you have 10,000, put it in a fund. And in a year from now, if it's worth less, I'll give you the difference. If it's worth more, you give me the difference. Don't worry. It'll be fine. I would never sell my Tesla stock. I think you're crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, yeah. Pretty crazy world. 702-329-0480. Give us a call. If not, I'm going to go fucking watch some baskets. Lakers tonight, I hope, can win. I don't like their chances, though. Without LeBron, they made Denver 2 on the road, and they got their whole team. But who knows? The Lakers are pretty fucking good, dude. I can't believe how good they are. We'll see what happens. See you, JJ. What a world we live in. What a world we live in. Yesterday, Elon got the astronauts trapped in space for 9 months home, and the left is firebombing Tesla dealerships. It's like two different realities we live in. Honestly, I honestly don't about the Luka trade. I really believe short-term Dallas won the trade. I mean, if they don't get injured, Kyrie doesn't go down, I thought Dallas was the favorite to come out of the West. They're so big. With Lively, Gafford, and fucking Davis, and fucking Kyrie, and Washington, and Thompson on the wings. Plus, they got somebody else that's really good. I mean, Dallas was going to be the first or second best team in the West. Y'all forgot how good Anthony Davis is. You could say Luka's top 3 or 4 player in the NBA, but fucking Anthony Davis is 5 or 6. And they also got Max Christie, who is averaging 19 and 7 for the Lakers, who's 22 years old. So it looks like the Lakers stole the trade because Davis got injured in his first game. And then Kyrie tore his ACL, and even the Dante Exum is out for the year now with a shoulder. I mean, they literally, I've never seen a team get more injured. It's almost like they're being punished for trading Luka. And the rumors are that they tried to hurt Dallas so they could move the team to Vegas because the Adelsons bought the team. But when they bought the team, like the majority share, when Marion Adelson bought the majority share, it was all about building the casinos in Dallas. I told you they're going to build big casinos in Dallas. That's the whole idea of it. And but he also said, Mark Cuban, that even though he owns 25%, all decisions on the basketball team were still going to be done by him. Now the Luka trade happens, and he has never even commented on it. How can you not comment on it? You said when you sold the majority of the team, you're still in charge of all basketball-related things with the Mavericks, and you don't say one word. He's never done an interview. It shows you how fucking what an idiot he is. He's the guy backing Kamala Harris. What a fucking idiot. Like, how do you not say something? What up? Welcome to Mouthpiece, Mike.
Mike, it's TJ. How you doing, buddy?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Not too bad. So I don't know if you're going to remember this. I was with Frank Stepuchin a couple years ago at Paris, and I met you, actually. We had a nice, 10, 15-minute conversation. We went and watched that flip and go bullshit. Do you remember that?
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's been a while ago. I don't expect you to remember that shit. But yeah,
I final tabled that flip and go 2 years ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2022. Is that when I first moved down there, and that's when I first did that shit?
Yeah, I final tabled that flipping. I thought I was going to win it. I fucking somehow picked up ace king versus queens early, and I lost, and that was it.
That's par for the course, isn't it? Getting fucked in the ass every fucking hand.
Yeah.
I watched you on HCL. I thought you did play pretty well.
I did.
The eighth queen against Mariano, that was tough.
Yeah, only because at the time he was putting 10,000 in every hand, right? And when he opens to 900 under the gun, it says, "I'm not folding this hand no matter what." I didn't read him as kings. I figured we were flipping. Maybe he had tens or something. Let's gamble. You know what I mean? So
did you want to run that twice, or are you cool with once?
I wanted to run it twice.
Okay,
but
do you think he only said once because he had kings and he knew he had a monster, or do you think he was just a run it once guy?
When he said run it once and the flop came queen high, I thought I had the pot one. I can't even believe he had kings, But after that hand, I also started. That's when I really started. I lose that hand. I was like the only first hand I played. Then I got called with fourth pair, and I knew I gave something away. So I put my glasses on and I started studying everybody. And once I started studying everybody and I really got focused, I played really good.